They call him Seatin, the man of legends.
Hey ladies and gents, what is up? It is Seatin here. Hello and welcome to a video for speed leveling in Nightmare Tide. So one thing that a lot of people wanted to see from me is just a video of me doing the first few quests and getting the first few levels as quickly as humanly possible. Just maybe people, you know, who are working today and don't have time to get on the PTS or have it in the last few weeks, just to see how the quests generally flow and have a reference point if at all they get stuck trying to sort of get ahead in Nightmare Tide. You know, it's just generally for preparation and to, you know, give you guys a bit of knowledge and show you how I level fast and how I blitz through things. So in this video, you'll see me pretty much only doing story quests. I do occasionally do a carnage quest when it is convenient. So when a carnage quest is kind of like directly in the path of a quest that I'm doing, say for example, you'll see in a bit that I have to kill a few priests. I believe it's 5 priests, right, to get these orbs, but the carnage quest to kill them requires 6, so I just kill an extra one and boom, I get a fair piece of loot. Or maybe if mobs are just really easy to round up and deal with, then I can just quickly take care of them without any hassle. So just one thing before we get really into the meat of it, the video is sped up 3 times the usual pace. You can check the in-game clock for reference if you like, but you'll see a minute going by roughly every kind of 20 or so seconds on the video. So that's just a bit of a heads up that it's roughly 3 times the usual pace sped up. Also, by doing this method I am missing out on a lot of the story and lore, but I've literally played through all the zones quite a few times, so I'm very familiar with the story and lore anyway, so you know, that's something I don't personally need, but something that you could choose to, you know, sit back and enjoy. Generally, you know, when you accept a quest or like do an objective, then it completes that objective and then you have the option to like wait around for a few minutes and listen to the lore or to kind of see this story reenacted before you. There is a ton of voice acting in Nightmare Tide, so I definitely suggest for the most immersive and enjoyable leveling experience that you do have kind of the voice acting enabled. I was really hammering this out, so I was listening to Spotify while doing this, so unfortunately I couldn't upload it with sound as I just had a load of copyrighted content on that and it would have been taken down. So that kind of sucks. Also, it would have sounded terrible sped up, which is what the video is now. It's essentially me leveling sped up super fast. I also do derp quite a few times in this video, and the more observant people will notice that I'm not using any consumables. So there is definitely a lot of room for improvement in kind of the run that I did this morning. I reckon I can literally nail it down, the kind of whole 60 to 62 in under an hour, which means that on kind of a long scale goal, on a longer term, the whole track to 65 should only take me about 4 hours. That is kind of the time that I am aiming for. And I will be doing that entirely live tomorrow on Twitch TV, which I'm very excited about, but knowing my luck, it's going to go terribly. Literally, there are probably going to be problems with the server, my own provider, power, there's probably going to be a lightning storm which takes out my entire house. But yeah, we're gonna see how we go. I know it's probably, I'm not too sure how smooth it's gonna be relaunch, because there's a part of me that thinks this whole lack of promotion for Nightmare Tide might be a good thing for me, the consumer, as literally there won't be thousands and thousands of people logging on trying to compete with me. So yeah, that's pretty damn good. So just a few kind of tips and tricks that I wanna throw in here is that Bravatic portal generators, you need to get them. It's so helpful for actually speeding up the leveling experience overall, and it's ridiculous. Also, just another thing I wanted to throw out because it's on screen, you'll notice me killing those fish at the bottom of the well. I killed them because they are very easy to kill, only require 6 to do the carnage, and took me like, I don't know, 20-30 seconds max for 300k XP with, you know, my vials and everything popped. So that's pretty damn cool. Also, there is a quest in this kind of like underground passage to actually actually pick up a variety of kind of lunar stones, and you'll see me grabbing a few of them. I decided to kind of test it out to see if it'd be worth my while, and if you can make it ahead of the curb and get here before everyone else, then I believe it would be worth your while to actually pick up the lunar stones. They're very, very easy to grab and just take a few seconds literally to click on them, and they do have kind of a nice, I believe it's 130k base experience reward, but with vials that kind of goes up to about 450k, which is almost 500,000. So I would say, you know, it's arguably worth doing. I mean, you kind of do need about I believe it's 12 to 18 million experience per level going through Nightmare Tide, so that's kind of, to give you a general idea of, you know, the overall XP requirements, it's probably going to be about 100 million experience, which, you know, is, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty damn easy to get, especially with experience vials. There is a lot to do. And one really cool thing about Nightmare Tide as opposed to Storm Legion, when Storm Legion came out, there were a ton of Carnage quests, like everywhere. But the Carnage quest, as opposed to a Nightmare Tide, required you to kill anywhere between kind of 12 and 20 plus enemies. The ones in Rift Nightmare Tide are they can be anywhere between one, literally there are one Carnage quests, where you'll kill one enemy, boom, Carnage complete. And about, I think the max is really about 8. So 8 enemies is really the maximum amount you're going to have to kill for any Carnage quest that isn't, you know, kind of like little bugs or really easy, small kill bait mobs that come in packs. So yeah, that's pretty damn cool. You know, just keep that in mind, play sensibly. There are a variety of areas which I've found, especially with especially the smaller ones, where it can be worthwhile to just kind of like pick them off while you're doing your additional quest objectives. And yeah, you really got to play smart for this. So the first few quests are like really easy, as you can probably see on the video. I literally run somewhere, click a few objectives, and boom, we're done. Going on to kind of the slightly more brain-racking quest here, you have to save these 2 Angarians. There'll be one which basically has nightmares surrounding him, and you just quickly burn down the nightmares like I'm doing here, and then there is going to be another one where you need to deconstruct a dream scene. And you'll see, initially when I try to do this quest, it actually has a slight bug. So around, there are like 3, I believe 3 different kind of Angarians for each quest scattered about the zone. They'll appear on the minimap, and what you have to do is basically, you know, just click on the land, and then boom, 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 transform all like the nightmare objects into lovely bits of the coral reef using the quest ability that you have. You'll see it bugged out for me, and it only did 4 out of 5, so I had to quickly run to another location, and bam, get one down there. And then because I'm lazy, I quickly ported back to the Angarian world using my Bravanic portal generator. Then we go back down and talk to the lovely mermaid and get the next quest, which is probably the longest one. This quest is a bit of a pain in the ass, but in terms of like lore and story, it's pretty cool. And the travel time on like getting to this quest is a bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, literally I spend about, oh god, it's got to be about 3-4 minutes actually getting to the quest objective. Now, I made a huge mistake, actually, before going to this quest. I decided, oh, these mobs look pretty easy. How about I round them all up and quickly kill them for my Carnage quest? Now, what I didn't realise at the time was the fact that I actually hadn't cleared my Carnage quest log on this character. So I still had like 20 plus active Carnages in random zones. So I wasn't getting credit for that Carnage. So that also, you know, that took another minute or so out of my journey to level 61 and 62. So guys, just as a bit of a pro tip, make sure you literally get rid of all of the uncompleted Carnage quests before Nightmare Tide launches, or you are literally going to bury yourself so deep. And you know, it's really going to slow you down going through your quest log and having to delete all of those. You'll see me, you know, when I'm like clicking on objectives and killing stuff and mindlessly spamming, just trying to quickly clear up my Carnage quest log a bit, just to make it go a bit faster and smoother. So, this is one of the first kind of mini encounters that you will find in Nightmare Tide. Is kind of like this Agvan horror, and what you essentially have to do, it's pretty damn easy. You have to AoE all these kind of level 40k health ads that'll come to you. Damage is very easy to avoid and mitigate. You just want to stay close to Finric here, and then you want to just AoE the crap out of everything until these summoners and channelers can start being attacked, and you'll see you can just button down quickly. What I'm doing here is, and sort of a standard tactic that you'll see throughout the video, is I'm doing something called tab targeting and dotting. So basically, you know, I'll put Scourge and Vex on a mob, go on to the next mob, Scourge and Vex. Now, this doesn't work for any class granted, but it is an amazing tactic for dealing with multiple enemies, especially as an Inquisitor, and it's very awesome. I mean, other classes can kind of like round up stuff and AoE them pretty easily, such as, you know, like Champion, Harbinger, but really, Inquisitor does have the advantage that you can just Scourge Vex, next target, Scourge Vex, next target, and that target will practically die off Scourge and Vex. They are very, very powerful abilities, and especially, you know, if I was using consumables in this video, maybe I had a Power Stone on, it would be more than enough to kill them, and that is pretty damn cool. So that's a little bit of a pro tip for all you clerics out there. For mages, you know, if you're a Chloromancer and you're, a Harbinger slash Chloromancer leveling spec, which I imagine most mages will be, you do kind of have your standard, you know, Withering Vine, tab target, Withering Vine, tab target, Withering Vine, and that's amazing for just pulling enemies and getting towards you, and then you can just, you know, like Empyrean Ascension, Harbinger form, and AoE them down. Now, this quest I'm doing at the moment is a bit... I find it a bit annoying. I just don't like the pulls, the way they're positioned. But basically, you have to kind of run back and forth, break some people out of rocks, then you got to kill harpies. There will be a carnage to kill 8 harpies, although the quest only requires 4. It really depends if there's anybody around this area, like if you compete with anyone for this quest, then you'll probably just want to kill the 4 harpies and then just move on. If there isn't anybody else around, you want to kill 8 harpies and 9 firebugs to get both of the carnage quests. The firebugs are so quick and so easy to kill, and you'll only have to kill a total of 3 packs of them, you know, for your nice kind of fat bonus XP, and you know, you get a bit of void stone as well for doing it, which can become, well, it is a useful endgame currency, so it's certainly worth, if it's easy to do, worth doing. And then you just kind of have to run back and forth. You see me just finishing off the Carnage quest here. There's also another quest to pick up an orb and do something with it, but that one I didn't kind of, it wasn't worth the time to do. So kind of just any additional side quest here, ignore. I mean, I haven't really found any side quest that have been worth my time doing. It's mainly just kind of convenient Carnage quest is the only kind of stuff that I throw into the mix, apart from spamming pure story quests. So the next couple of quests that I'm doing, or the next quest that I'm doing, are just massive, massive time sinks. Literally, these ones are crazy time sinks, but they're really, really good for getting additional carnages done. As you can see, you have to originally open up a water rift. What I did as well before opening the water rift was I was pulling crabs, and you will see me trying to, you know, tag as many outside mobs as I can to get the carnages done around while kind of the phases are changing and waiting. Also, I literally derped on the next phase of this rift for a bit and didn't understand what I was doing for a few minutes, so you see me attacking the idols and tab targeting, trying to get them down. Basically, the way that this rift works, actually, is you get the idols down a bit, and then use the orb, and then just run around and manually finish off, well, you finish off all of the idols with this lovely reactive granted by the orb, and then you progress on to a bit of role-playing, exciting stuff there. You'll see I got really lucky and just got some absolutely random epic that was no good for my class. But, you know, if that had been live, I could have sold that on the auction house for a bit of money. Not much, I assume. It would literally get replaced in like 5 minutes. So, yeah, but it's a bit weird seeing epic items drop. It's certainly something we haven't seen in kind of Rift Storm Legion. Or I think we saw a bit of it in Original Rift, just not that much of it. But it's pretty cool, like epic items, especially in the endgame zones. They drop in the open world. So maybe when you get to kind of like level 64 and you're doing the questing, just make sure, you know, if you've pulled like a ton of mobs, that you just quickly loot them. I mean, it doesn't really take too much out of the leveling time, so it's definitely worth doing. You know, if you can get an item and then sell that for a few thousand plat for like just looting a random mob, then that is pretty damn good. So after that, you then move on to this fire rift. You got to close a water rift, use a reactive, not a reactive, a kind of what is it, item that drops from it? Yeah, it's basically just going to be an item that drops for it. You click on that item and then it'll go tell you, go close a fire rift. So that is really, really fun. I mean, the main problem I see with this quest on kind of like day one launch, etc., is the fact that it is going to be, I don't know, maybe a bit difficult to do for multiple groups, or maybe people are just going to be scavenging the map, looking for tears. But I assume, you know, if you get there at the end of the rift and tag it, then hopefully you should get the reward for it. I checked out also that additional side quest to the side there, believe it or not, and that one definitely was not worth doing. So this again is another very, very slow paced quest. It involves you defending an onslaught location for about, I believe it's about 2 minutes before a boss will spawn, and then what happens is like a kind of mini boss will spawn, and you have to do this in 3 different locations. You'll notice me going very, very outside because I'm trying to get the Carnage quest done to kill the 8 Skelf around here, and I managed to get that done in plenty of time. There are literally quests in the future where I don't have any like Carnage is to do in the local area, but I'm still pulling and killing additional mobs just because I know the roleplay for that quest is so damn long and I cannot be asked to wait around doing nothing. I'd rather, you know, be bashing something while I'm waiting for this roleplay to go on, just to give me, you know, that little bit of experience on the top. I finally spent my mastery point I got about 10 minutes ago as well. Spent there on, it's one of, well, it really depends on your class, but for me I just did it on the one where I get additional health every time I kill a mob, because literally surviving mobs isn't a problem, but it's nice just to have that bit of additional health whenever you kill one. Also, that has a secondary effect, which, you know, isn't really useful here, but basically if somebody tries to dispel your dots in PvP, then they take insta damage equivalent to 50% of that dot's total damage or your spell power or something like that. Yet again, more onslaughts. You will see me getting pretty damn bored here, I'm not gonna lie. I think there's one point I even go into the water and just start attacking a shark, just because, you know, I really, really want something to kill. So yeah, just cleaning up the onslaughts here, waiting for the boss to spawn, managed to complete that Skelf Carnage. More invasions coming. It's nice to get kind of a standard soul drain off on them, because that just kills all the little ones and, you know, burns down the captain to practically nothing. So, final boss here, as you can see, went down like an absolute breeze. Those bosses aren't hard at all. And then you get another quest to kill 3 of these fire idols. Now, the fire idols actually have mobs surrounding all of them, but you don't need to kill the mobs. The mobs don't offer any Carnage quests, so literally I just fear them, swim away, use the Bravanic portal generator, just to save me a bit of time killing those mobs, because literally it would have been pretty damn pointless for me to do it, and I saved myself a good kind of like a good 30 seconds to a minute there. So after that, quickly ported back, and we have yet again a lot of RP quests. Like literally the RP for these quests lasts about a minute to 2 minutes each. So what I really should have been doing here is, while I was waiting for the RP to go off, I should have been kind of looking for additional mobs the other side of that cubby hole. This is the big phoenix that I was talking about. You kill it, you get the Carnage quest, GG, free XP just for killing one mob, which is granted, you know, admittedly a very, very easy mob to kill. So, you know, it's definitely worth your time just to quickly dispatch of any elite single Carnage quest mobs you find, because they are just an absolute XP gold mine. So going back to the roleplay, since we've pretty much killed everything nearby anyway, so what I really suggest doing at this point, you know, these down points, is I'd suggest using stuff like Feast, refreshing all your buffs, ensuring that they're kept up, and just generally, you know, keeping on top of all the consumable and buff stuff, because there are just so many amazing downtime moments you have to do that you don't really want to, you know, leave it to the last minute with your buffs. Just refresh them whenever you go, you know, I'm going to be sitting here for about 10 seconds, let's just quickly pop all my buffs off again. Yet again, more roleplay, lots and lots of roleplay and voice acting. I'm kind of sad that I didn't have this included on the video, because it really does make the leveling experience 10 times more enjoyable and a lot more immersive. And I do love it. It's really, really fun to level in Nightmare Tide, so I'm really not going to knock that at all. It is 10 times better than Storm Legion. I will happily say that. The questing in Storm Legion, for me, apart from with the exception of the Dreamhive questline, was bloody terrible. Like, I hated it so so much. But questing in Rift Nightmare Tide is pretty damn fun. Then we go on to the next quest, which is it's a fairly fast-paced one. Essentially what you have to do is you have to kill 4 jailers and get 4 keys, and then basically unlock 4 cages and set some Angarian dream, or I think actually some Aeneas free. I keep on getting the various factions and races of 3.0 confused. There's also a Carnage quest to kill, I believe it's like 8 of these kind of like dog human people. You kill 4 of them anyway for the keys, and then you have a quest to kill 8 dogs as well. So you have 2 different Carnage quests. I'd suggest, again, if there's nobody about, that they're both definitely worth doing if the mobs are spawned, because they are very, very quick and very, very easy to do. And you also need to throw a variety of charcoal at just these dogs and confuse them. As you can see, it all tied in pretty damn perfectly for me. There's a lot of area and scope that you can do this quest in, so just make sure you navigate around the map. And then I really wasn't waiting around there, just kind of preventing portal battery and then insta-teleport right back to that quest hub, just so that, I'm not wasting any more time than I need to. Now, we're on to the next quest, which involves basically salvaging pieces of an Oculon, and there are some really, really sweet carnages around here. So basically what you need to do is you initially need to use this reactive on the coal vents. You can use the reactive while you're mounted, so you see I just completely blitzed through there. And then what you need to do is you need to blow up these machines and get 4 of these shards. You need a total of 12, so basically you need to blow up a total of 3 of those machines, and boom, congratulations, you won that. You'll see me also nuking the goblin there. I didn't really mean to nuke that, as a bit of a waste of time, but kind of these shady ads that you see that do the variety of melee attacks in there in the fire, they hit really hard, but they are really, really easy to kill. So if you have a decent amount of self-healing, it's definitely worth pulling 8 of them and quickly AoEing them down as fast as you possibly can. And then finally the final quest that took me to 62 was this one here. You'll see me wait around for a few seconds watching the roleplay before I realized I didn't need to do that. It had actually already auto-completed. So that's it, ding 62. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you learned something. I hope that maybe this video helps you to overcome, level a bit faster, and kind of generally stay at the top of your game. Thank you for watching the video, take care, and have an absolutely wonderful day.